All right.
All right. All right. Welcome. Are we on now?
Yes.
All right. So,
We are
welcome.
welcome. Welcome, everyone. Today is another Dream Team webinar. We want to say welcome to everyone, whether you are watching us on YouTube, whether you are here with us on the Zoom. We value your time. We appreciate you being able to join us this Sunday. We have an exciting topic that has been a series about our health and wellness, and who better to be able to share this knowledge, this wealth of information with us to be better prepared as we continue this journey on our business and as we wait for the next step. But at this time, I'll hand it over to our brother Alfred, part of the welcome team, to say welcome, welcome, and then we move on to introduce the rest of the moderators, the team leaders, and then to the rest of the program. Over to you, brother Alfred.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Kanla. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Dream Team webinar. My name is Alfred Che, coming to you from the great state of Maryland here in the United States of America. We do have a great show today. As my sister has already indicated, get a pen and paper. Get something that can help you and your family. Thank you so much, Sister Kanla. Over to you.
Thank you, brother Alfred. We truly appreciate you. So, is everyone excited and looking forward to spending this hour or two with us today? Because I am really so excited. Thank you, because I know what we have in stock today. We are all going to leave with some new knowledge, learning something. So, but at this time, let us go straight right into our opening tune. Who does it for us? Dr. Derek. And please listen to not only the music, but what Dr. Derek does with the music. It's a beautiful information that he tells us, non-verbal communication to all of us. And every Sunday, he makes sure that he gives us the most updated form of this non-verbal information. So if you are able to follow and see what he presents with the song, then you are in a way already having some updates. And so we also want to thank our sister Lerato with the angelic voice, the beautiful voice that gifted us with this music that has become our signature tune. Thank you, Dr. Derek. Over to you.
We are the next stop is on passive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Indeed, the next step is on passive. Dr. Derek, thank you so much. Hearing your voice there makes a difference. Thank you for everything you do behind the scene to put this together for us. We appreciate every effort that is done, and we can say it. Thank you, thank you. At this time, we will move on to our next webinar agenda item, which is going to be the mindset. But before we go straight into the mindset, just a few housekeeping that we need to be mindful aware. Please, if you have your video on, make sure you are properly dressed. Just make sure you have a decent look before you put your video on. If not, please, there is no need for you to put it on. Secondly, if you come in with a name that we do not recognize, please make an effort to rename yourself. We will reach out to you to try to rename you. If you are not able to rename yourself or identify who you are, we will be forced to not permit you until you name yourself properly. And this is because we've had incidences where the webinar is disrupted, and we do not want to appreciate that for everybody. So thank you so much. And also the mic, if you are behind and busy, please make sure you mute your mic. But in the meantime, while the webinar goes on, everyone's mic will be muted until we get to the Q&A, and then all of us will be able to say something when it's time for us to communicate. All right, so thank you so much for listening. At this time, we would like to call upon our mindset presenter for today, who is none other than our queen, who graces us every Sunday. I mean, how many webinars now and counting? 500 plus. Every webinar, we have been listening to that angelic voice, that signature tune. Queen Lerato, we thank you, sis.
Yes, thank you,
Over
sis.
to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. You look beautiful. Hey, I love that necklace. I'm in the mind to come and raid your wardrobe. Like I'm.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you, sis.
You look beautiful as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that took their time to be here. It's so wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to see everybody here healthy and thriving. It's not a given, you know, and because it's not a given, I just want to first of all thank our creator for giving us this opportunity. A new day for me is an opportunity to what do you call, to recalibrate my day and all the other choices that I've made and see where I can make improvement. And another thing that another day gives me is to love well, every day to choose love and let love lead in my life. Some days are easier, some days are hard to choose love, but that's my base. That's where I go to. So I thank God for this day, and I hope you're also blessed, right? And funny enough, you know, I know we've been talking about the power in stillness and peace and all of that, but something was just laying heavy in my heart, and I thought I should share it with you guys. And I know that all of us that are here, we are here by choice. We are not coerced. We are not brainwashed. We are not in a cult. Many believe we're in a cult, but no, we're here by choice. We're not here because we're in a cult. And it's important to honor that. You know, everybody has a choice what they want to do, and we have our own autonomy. And it's important for people to also honor that. As much as there are people who feel that we shouldn't be here, we are here by our own choice, and we should be left alone with our choices because it's a choice to be here. And it's important for me to mention it, you know, because we get some backhanded comments, and I'm thinking, guys, this is our peace and our love. We are here, and hey, just give us space to be where we are and just, you know, live our best lives. As much as you guys are living your best life, leave us alone to live our best lives. And The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we believe in the dream of on passive. We're not giving up of on passive, and it's also by choice, because the dream is too big to give up on, right? And that led me also to do a research. I made my own research about a lot of companies and how they started, and you know, the transition, what they started from, in the middle, in the end, whatever, right? And one thing that I realized in my research is that every company that is sustainable, that lasts, it took time to build. Something that is worth, you know, something that is going to give you everything at the end is worth waiting for. It's well worth waiting for. And for me to wait and to see where this is taking me, it's a choice. And yeah, so it's important for us to reevaluate and think about what we want to invest our time on. And for us here, with my beautiful sister Kanla and sister Irene, Dr. Derek, all of you beautiful, fabulous people, we decide this is what we want to invest on because we believe in it. We believe in it, and we right, we're here because we believe in it, right? As long as our CEO didn't say we're done, we're also not done. We might take breaks here and then, but we're not done because we believe in the dream, and it's our choice, right? Anything that is, you know, that big and that gets successful and that is sustainable, it takes time, guys. I didn't even know there were some companies I was like, wow, I didn't know it took that much long, like that long. Like with Facebook, it was called something else before. And when they were talking about the transition, where it went from and where it is now, it's a journey of more than 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. I know that my Dr. Derek has all the facts. He will correct me if I'm wrong. But it was a long journey, right? And it took time and investment and crying and whatever that it took. But at the end of the day, it's here, and it's here to stay. It might change phase or whatever, but Zuckerberg made it what he wanted to be. It got whatever that is happening right now, but he reached his goal. The end goal is what he wanted. So it takes time, guys. Right? Because last week there was a lady that came in and she was talking about, when we're talking about patience, we're talking about stillness. You know, I totally get her. Other people don't have time to wait, but unfortunately we're not on the timeline of everybody. The timeline is the visionary's time and what he has to deal with, because in actual fact, he's the one building the business. We're there because we believe in it and we invested our energy and everything in it, but we're going to have to be on his timeline. And everything else up to so far that happened is not his fault, right? For those who know the story, it's not his fault. Things happen in business and you have to recalibrate and think, where am I going from here? And there's never a time where he said, guys, I give up. Every time when he comes here or when he chooses to appear, there's never a time that he said, I'm giving up. I don't want to do it. Bye. So as long as he's not saying bye, some of us here are still supporting him. Oh, and also it's a choice. I'm going to mention that so many times so that people get it through their head that it's our choice to be here. Thank you so much. Now, going back to our topic, stillness. It's yeah. So this is like I said last time, I said it's a vast topic, and I won't do it justice if I want to simplify it or make it like something very simple and everything, because it has so many faces and there's so many like directions that we can go with this and expatiate on it. It's not a simple subject. So it's worth all of us taking time to do our own research. If it's something that we're pursuing, I'm pursuing stillness, I'm pursuing peace in all circumstances. That's what I want for my life. That my reaction, my mindset is solid. No matter what the circumstances that are happening in my life, I want, you know, my spirit to be solid in order to be able to know how to handle myself. So this topic is of interest to me. And one thing about stillness that is also amazing to me, you know, I've watched people who've worked on that discipline and people who are very still. There are people who are able to have clarity in chaos. Things around them could be chaotic, they could be, yeah, but they're able to center themselves and find clarity. And you know, eventually when they speak or they take on the subject or they insert themselves in whatever situation is happening, what they bring is clarity in the situation, because they're not panicking with everybody, they're not screaming, and they're just still, and then they're able to bring clarity in the chaos. And for me, it's something very important, because like I said last week, like our lives are so fast paced and for no reason. for no reason. And, it's like everything fast, 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 fast. It's like you're faster to wait for nothing. Like it's just fastness, but it leads nowhere. And most of the time, when you're just, your immune system, everything is fast, you never reach, that goal that you want to reach. It's not like you're going to reach it faster. The only thing that you're adding is just stress. Your immune system is flaring up. You're creating stress. You're not calm. It's just not worth it. So I think for me, the topic of stillness is so important. It's really, really important. Clarity is important. Peace is important. And like I said, when you have all these things, they attract like energy because you're an energetic being. You are energy. So whatever energy you're operating on, or the frequency that you're operating on, you attract the same energy. So for me, it's important to have calmness, to have, that stillness, to attract, so that wealth and everything that is in that frequency of calmness, of love, of peace, of light, I can attract that. So it's important to me because I know that those things go together. Things are not independent in our universe, independent in everything is connected. And so, and our energy attracts things that we agree with. Remember when I said that we have to agree with good, we have to agree with God. That means then you have to be in a certain frequency and mindset to be able to be in that, to be able to make those agreements that enhance or empower the choice of love, the choice of peace, the choice of abundance, the choice of prosperity. It's high vibrational things that we're talking about. We're not talking about those low frequencies or low vibrating things, right? Like fear. So to be on that high vibration and to be able to agree with good and with God, we have to be intentional about it. And peace is very important, guys. That's why, like, I'm going to talk about what I know. That's why God says, peace be still. Peace be still. Just be still and know. And then he says, then there's the scripture that says, be still and know that I am God. So stillness is very important when you come to, how do I say, contacting your spirit and operating in that spiritual knowingness, that spiritual or high vibration. It's very important to be still, right? And so that you can get that knowledge, or you can be able to attract a light and knowing, right? So for me, stillness is important because you can regulate. I'm going to repeat this. You can regulate your emotions when you're still. When you're haphazard and hysterical, there's no way you can regulate yourself. I remember there's one time that I was watching people argue, and one guy was just so calm. He was not participating in the show, in the drama. He was just calm, and he just said what he needed to say. And he was just that person that was just calm, but he was clear. He was very precise, clear about what his intention. He told the other guy, yell all you want, but this is what's going to happen. And he was calm through the entire situation. The other one was like a clown yelling on top of his lungs, But the calm guy was just, matter of fact, this is what's going to happen. I need you to get off my, the way he was talking, I was like, oh, that's the master right there. It's so calm, right? So being able to regulate your emotion and not when people are like, you're there with them too, just yelling, we're up there together. Stillness gives you that ability to be able to regulate your emotions, and then you're able to be aware of your emotions rather than letting your emotions overwhelm you. You're not overwhelmed by your emotions. You're able to look at them. You're able to, you're able to separate for yourself from whatever and be able to evaluate them and be able, so that you're not overwhelmed. So stillness gives you that. It gives you that. And it enhances your focus and your productivity. When you are still, you're able to see things that you wouldn't be able to see when you're haphazard and all over the place and just like a Tasmanian devil. I see it with myself sometimes, when you're running late and you're just trotting on one spot and my feet is moving, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not productive because now I'm overwhelmed. I'm like just on one spot, I need to go. And nothing is happening. I'm actually getting more late because now I'm taking something, it's falling, everything is just chaos. But when I calm myself down, and then I just come down and I do what I need to do, I'm more productive. Then I leave on time. Then I'm not forgetting things. I remember what I'm supposed to take because then I'm remembering if I have to do this 1, 2, 3. By the time I leave through my door, I have to carry this. Then I remember. But immediately when I get chaotic and just all over the place, nothing gets done. First of all, I get more late and I'm not productive. Zero productivity. Okay, so stillness affords you the luxury of being focused and being productive. Proper, so it's worth it, guys. And stillness gives you that time to connect to yourself. I said that, we have time for everything else, but not many of us spend time with ourselves and actually know ourselves. No, but not many people spend time with themselves and actually know their essence, and they know themselves, and they spend time with you. Should be your own best friend, guys, and understand yourself and everything. So that connection to yourself happens only when you're still. Yeah. I know sometimes it's hard. So I tried this thing one time where I wanted to relax before you sleep. I'm one person, I overthink a lot. I'm an overthinker. So I had to learn to calm my brain down before I go to sleep, because that's where I would be thinking about everything and regret. Oh, maybe I should have said this. Maybe I should have done this. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's good to review your day, but not to now start torturing myself about things that I didn't do. What can I do better? All right, but let me do it in stillness, in a productive way where I can think clearly. Okay, next time I'll choose something different, because clearly this it was not good for me. It put me in a position where I'm nervous. It put me in regret or whatever. But I was able to just calm my brain down instead of just everything together. And it takes me like forever to sleep because my brain is just running, right? So that connection, to spend time with myself and using that time and making it productive and making it peaceful and winding down peacefully and being able to evaluate my day, all right, and connecting with myself, looking at my reactions, looking at things that maybe gave me some kind of anxiety, and asking myself, okay, why were you anxious? What can you do next time to improve on that? Right? Getting to know myself and my reactions under pressure, whatever, just knowing myself better. And so I can choose better. It's very important, right? So there are many ways to get to that, guys. And like I said, every journey here, the things that we mention here and things that we talk about, that mindset of prosperity and things that we now are agreeing with God for ourselves to be, or we are in the process of being, right? It's a personal journey. I can't tell you, I can't give you a roadmap. Everybody is an individual, and beautifully so. But there are certain things that we can share with each other. Maybe it will work for you. What everybody, there's a word that says that if one thing works for one person, might not work for another person. But if there are options, you're able to choose and see what works for you. And some of those things, as I said, silent meditation doesn't have to be like all esoteric, whatever, just meditating and winding yourself down. Like I said before, it's like I taught myself to wind down and not to overthink and ask relevant questions and productive questions to say, okay, fine, I was anxious, I was angry. All right, let me meditate on this. What can I do next time to make it better? What are the other options for myself, so that, because I don't like this reaction, I don't want to be this person who's anxious. What is it that I can choose now for myself? What are the other ways that I need to now use tools that can help me with that? Some people use journaling. Some people, it's better for them to see their thoughts on paper, or to process their thoughts when they see them written down. That's another way that maybe we can reach that goal of just stillness. Write your thoughts down, read it back to yourself, whatever process that works for you. Because sometimes, even with journaling, I would journal something in my moment. And then when I read it back to myself, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why was I so, I would look, like, why was I so hung up on this? It doesn't even make sense. And then you look at it from another perspective. And sometimes when I read it back to myself, then I get to understand my thoughts better. I'm like, oh, okay, right? So some people, it works like that, right? And then, like I said, create a space for yourself, for no rush. You are not going to rush for anything, whether it's when you're coming back from work, maybe you're rushing in the morning, you're chaotic, but then create space for yourself, even if it's a small segment of your day where you're like, I'm not rushing anyway, I'm taking my time. Then eventually this will be a part of your life. You will start increasing it to other areas of your life, and it will become something that is a norm for you. But start small. We don't have to become this great gurus in one day, guys. Everything that we do is a process. Just take a small part of your day and say, you know what, this is a no rush moment. I'm not rushing anywhere. I'm not rushing to any appointment. I'm not rushing to whatever. I'm allotting myself enough time, whatever that you need to do, that you are not rushing anyway. That, just put strategies in place that will put you in that calm state or in that peaceful state, so that it will become a part of your norm and your routine, that your day now is mostly it consists of stillness. Even if you're going somewhere, yes, we go there, but there's no rush and this haphazard and chaos. No, you just, come and you get there, right? The other thing that I found that it makes people anxious, especially about achievements, about time, is social media. A lot of us are comparing our lives with each other on social media. There's a lot of comparison. You'll see what the Joneses are doing, and you'll be sitting there thinking, oh, nothing is happening in my life. And now you're pushing, you're trying to force things, forcing relationships, forcing anything, because, and it happens mostly with women. You see your friends getting married. Now you're forcing relationships. You end up getting married to somebody who had red flags everywhere. Okay, red flags were everywhere. You chose not to see them because, no, this has to happen at this time. Everybody's doing it. Right? We do that. Or this one is buying a house. Now you are in debt because your budget doesn't allow that at that specific time. Now you want to live, comparing yourself. So sometimes just detoxing from social media, anything that will put you in that state of being anxious, of all this, withdraw from it. For your life, what is that one thing that puts you in that state of chaos and hurriedness, and you know what it is for you. So withdraw from those things that puts you in that state. If you are going to be very intentional about peace, about stillness, about calmness, about being intentional about, cultivating this environment of prosperity and creating an atmosphere for it, because we are vibrational beings. Everything vibrates. Birds of the same feather flock together. Creating that atmosphere is intentional. It's not something that just happens. Another example for those of us who read the Bible is the story of Jesus when he was crossing the Sea of Galilee. Everybody was haphazard. They were like, we are dying, you're sleeping. They were mad at him because he was so chill. He was sleeping. He was not getting involved in their drama. I'm sure he had the drama. I mean, you can't tell me if there's a storm and the boat is shaking, you're not feeling it. But he was just chill because he was like, it's not a big deal, guys. It's not a big deal. We get out of this, but we're gonna need to. And then the first thing he mentioned was what? Peace. He said, peace be still. That's what he said. He said, peace be still. Right? And I don't think it only applies to the sea. It also applies to everybody around him that was just helter-skelter. It applied to them too, to regulate themselves, to calm down, because they're like, are we gonna die here? La. It applied to them too. Peace be still. Go inside. Peace be still. That's what he mentioned. So stillness and peace, guys, even in the middle of chaos. Right? So we have to be intentional about choosing it and being consistent in choosing it and pursuing it and doing everything and creating an environment for it. Other days we're going to be like, yeah, we're going to sometimes fail most of the time. But if we are now on that process, we will see that changes will start to happen in our lives. Changes will start happening. Positive changes will start happening. And that stillness will become our norm and our state of being, right? So it's very important, guys. So choose, like I said, this is a personal journey. Look for yourself what agrees with you. What is easy, the processes that are easier for you, that come easy for you. Because I'm not the person that will sit there in meditation for 40 minutes. I'm not that person, guys. But for me, meditation, 5-10 minutes, I sit and I think about something and that's it. After that, maybe I write something down, but I do things that work with me and that are functional for me, or else then I'm setting up myself to fail. Right? And then I won't be consistent. If something that I find that I'm not, then I know me, I know myself that I won't be visiting that place, and then I'm not gonna be doing it. Same thing as exercise. I was like, oh, joining the gym at the beginning of the year sounds wonderful. 2 months down the line, I'm like, no, So I don't set myself up for, I look for those things that I can find my exercise and exercise and still train, but that are enjoyable to me and that I can be consistent on. Yes, I stick with it. And when I choose it, I stick with it and I'm very consistent. But I try as much as I can to set myself up to win so that I don't give up. Right. So do what works for you. These things are important. If we're going to be in the mindset of prosperity and we are living in prosperity and we are choosing and we are agreeing with prosperity, it goes with all these elements. So we have to create that environment of stillness, our thinking, everything else has to agree with that and support that. Right. So that's it. That's your homework this week. Do things that work for you. If you are not, consistent with, if you choose peace but you didn't know how to do it, find things, try different ways, and then set a thing for yourself where you can pursue it and find out about it, or find a routine that works for you. So it's all our homework here, because I know people that are here are people who are very deliberate about prosperity, who are deliberate about changing our vibration, changing our way of life. And yeah, so those things matter to us. So let's do that, guys. So in case somebody didn't tell you that they love you today, I want to tell you that I love you so much. And I thank God for you to be here today. And yeah, I love you. Thank you.
Love you, sis. Oh, that was awesome.
You look delicious. All of you today. Did you plan? You look delicious. Okay. All right, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you very much. I don't know where our sister is, but I guess we're gonna move on. Sis, really appreciate you. These are some things in life that sometimes, things are going on in your life. You don't even know how to handle it. Yeah. When I get stressed, like you said, I get confused. I forget things. I'll drive out of my house a couple of times. I'm down the road. Oh, I forgot this. I come back, and then I forgot this. I come back, and yeah, and then you're late for wherever you're going, and it's even more stress. It even makes you more anxious and more stressful. So, thank you very much for that, for those helpful tips. These are things that you probably will read a book and not be able to extract this summary like this in a way that it will be helpful and manage your time. So let me see what is next. It's probably me. All right. So next on the agenda is myself. And yeah, as Sister Kanla had introduced earlier today, we are going to continue on a series that I termed it Knowing Your Body and Cancer. And I don't know, I think we're in part 4 today. All right, let me see. Let me find out where I saved it on my computer. Screen. Okay. I don't know. Can you guys see my screen? Let me know.
Yes, sis, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do a slideshow. Somebody needs to remind me to always have my glasses on. All right. So a couple of weeks ago, we did part 3 of Knowing Your Body and Cancer. And I know I was talking about Kaposi sarcomas and multicentric Castleman disease and primary effusion lymphoma. And during that time, I had mentioned that we do have some cancers that are caused by viruses. All right, I think I jumped. And somebody was very happy to hear me talk about those cancers that are caused by viruses. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about those cancers that are caused by virus or that are associated with virus. So, like I said, there are viruses that are known as oncovirus. It's just oncology or, virus that's just related to cancer because they are linked to an increased risk of developing certain types of cancers. So these viruses are called oncovirus viruses, and they can disrupt normal cell growth. So last time I know we talked about cell division, how cells divide and, they stop at every checkpoint and make sure that the division is going on well, so that at the end, you will have two daughter cells that look the same as the mother cell. So what happens is that these viruses will get into these cells and they will disrupt this cell growth and replication, and then leading to uncontrolled cell proliferation or cell division and the formation of tumors. Okay. So somebody might ask me, what is a virus, or what are viruses? So viruses are very small organisms. They are made up of genes, just like our cells in our body are made of genes, like DNA or RNA, and they are surrounded by tissues. So they have proteins. So their body is surrounded by proteins or protein coatings. So it's like you have a thing in the mirror and it's all coated by proteins. And viruses require the cells of a living host, such as human beings, such as people, to survive. So they cannot really just survive in the air. They can be in the air for a limited length of time, but they need the cells of our bodies to survive. And so in general, each type of virus tends to infect only a certain type of cell in the body. So they might just live in the sinuses, or they might just live in the liver or in the blood circulation. They pick a certain group of cells that they can live in, or a group of tissue in your body or organs. So for example, the viruses that cause what we call common cold, they will infect the cells that are lining the nose and the throat. And so you get a common cold, and you are sneezing and your nose is running and you get sore throat, because that's where these viruses would just like to live. So examples of oncoviruses and the associated cancers. So I'm just going to talk about the virus and also what type of cancer these viruses will cause. So there are 8 types of viruses. There are probably a little more than 8, but these are the 8 main types of viruses that we already know that are associated with cancer. There are some other viruses that we don't know yet, or we cannot really put a finger onto to say this virus causes this cancer. So I just didn't bring those in here, but a lot of them are still in research, or they are still looking into them well. because sometimes you look into a cancer tissue and you see that some of these viruses are in there, but they have not really been able to determine if they really cause a major impact or influence in that cancer formation. But as of now, we know of 8 main types of viruses that are associated with cancer. And so number 1 is what we call the HPV, or the human papilloma virus. I'm sure most of us, or almost everybody, knows about the HPV virus because I talk about it a lot. And this is linked to cervical cancer. In fact, in research or in treatment, when they find out that a lady has cervical cancer, they don't really think about anything else that will cause it but HPV. Then you have anal cancers, oropharyngeal cancers, penile cancer, vaginal cancers, and vulvar cancers. These cancers, they've been seen to be associated almost always by the HPV virus. And then you have the hepatitis B and hepatitis C. Well, so those are 2 viruses that I just put in one. So in my numbering, we'll probably see 7, but I really said 8 because hepatitis B is a different virus from hepatitis C. These 2 viruses are associated with liver cancer almost always. So that's why I have them closer, and that's all they do, this hepatitis B and hepatitis C. You can have it, it will be in you, you can fight, but it gets to a point where it will disrupt the cell division in the liver so much so that the liver cells just go crazy and the cells divide rapidly and they form tumors. And then we also have the Epstein-Barr virus. Most commonly you hear it as a EBV virus. So the EBV virus is linked to lymphomas like the Burkitt's lymphoma, Hodgkin disease, and nasopharyngeal cancers. A lot of nasopharyngeal cancers are EBV positive. I know there are some that are not, but the majority of them are almost all the time. And nasopharyngeal cancers are EBV positive, and they are so difficult to treat. And then you now have the Kaposi sarcoma associated herpes virus that we already spoke extensively about in the past 2 weeks that will cause Kaposi sarcoma. And also we did talk about multicentric Castleman's disease, which last time we just called it MCD, and also certain types of lymphomas like the primary effusion lymphoma. I know we talked about those last time. And then another virus that is not very much known, but is there, is a human T-cell lymphotrophic virus type 1. This one will cause or is linked to the T-cell leukemia or T-cell lymphoma. And then we have the Merkel cell polymer virus, which is associated with the Merkel cell carcinoma. And we have the human immunodeficiency virus, which is the HIV that we commonly know. What I'll say about HIV is HIV really does not directly cause cancer. What HIV does is that HIV compromises your immunity. And because it weakens your immunity is what will fight viruses, what will fight bacteria in your body, what will, fight and destroy any foreign bodies in your body. But because you have HIV, and HIV now compromises your immune system and brings it down so low that it can't fight any of this thing, then now any virus that is in your body can just flare and will cause all types of cancers.
So for the patients or for people living with HIV, they are at risk, or they have an increasing risk of having certain types of cancer, like the Kaposi sarcomas that we talked about, the lymphomas that we talked about last time, and also cervical cancers, anal cancer, liver cancer, oral cancer, throat cancer, and lung cancers. So, like I tried to explain that a little earlier, but what is the mechanism of this viral oncogenesis? So it is not fully understood. Or, it is not fully understood how these viruses do to cause cancer. But experts presume that viruses will hijack the cells and insert their DNA or RNA into that host cell, and then this causes the host cell to become cancerous. So what happened is they will get into, because these are small, tiny particles, I'll call them, but small, tiny viruses, they are very small, and they can get into your cell, and they will just insert their DNA or their RNA into your cells, into whichever cell that they get into. And so this DNA that they insert in there now disrupts the way your own DNA functions. And so when the cell is dividing and gets to a point where it cannot check itself to see if it's doing its cell division correctly, because now it has this foreign DNA in it, it gets to a point where that cell just gives up checking and just decides to continue, just rapidly making new cells that are abnormal. So that's what typically cancer is. Cancer is just our cells in our body, but they don't divide like a normal cell will do, like a normal, a mother cell would divide into two daughter cells that are equal and identical to the mother cells. What happens is something goes wrong in the normal cell, and they start dividing in a wrong way, in a wrong direction, and they will make cells that don't look like each other anymore. And usually these cells will just divide rapidly, just grow wild. And so you'll see this tumor will just grow in a part of your organ, like in the liver. It can just grow in one of the liver, in one of the lobes in your liver, and it will just be so big that it interrupts the function of that liver. These cells, they are not normal, they don't look normal, they don't function like a normal cell, because they are not the same as the cells that will help and do what the liver is supposed to be doing in your body. And so they will press on other cells around them, and just overwhelm and destroy those cells. They will form their own blood vessels and just grow. So what can we do to prevent these cancers that are caused by virus? Number one thing is vaccination. A couple of years back, they talked about the HPV vaccine and the one that they should give it to children, especially younger ones that are not sexually active yet, because those that are not sexually active probably do not have the HPV virus. You don't want to give it to someone who already have the HPV virus in them, because the vaccine may be really not helpful at that time, but you give it to young ones who are not sexually active yet, and the body already will produce the antibodies against the HPV virus, so that when they get infected with the virus, that antibody in them will destroy the virus. But if you give it to someone who is already sexually active and probably already has the HPV virus, it might not do what the vaccine is supposed to be doing. And then you have the hepatitis B vaccine that will reduce your risk of developing liver cancer. Sorry. Okay. And then the other thing that you can do for to prevent these viral cancers is early detection and treatment. Well, this is not really prevention, but in a way it is. If you are screening, there are screening tests for some of these viral cancers that you can do that will help to prevent or catch the cancer early in your body and treat it or just remove it before it gets bigger or gets to a point where it will cause problems. So there are some screening tests that are available, like the HPV. If you know, women will have, they want them to be doing the pap smear every year. That helps to prevent them having cervical cancer, because when you do the pap smear, you try to find out if their cervix is harboring this HPV virus, and if it does, what can they do to treat it? Sometimes they can just cauterize the area. It might be still small, or if it's just started growing, I mean, they can do something to prevent it from growing more or becoming a big cancer that is now difficult to treat. They do screen people for HIV. They screen people for hepatitis B and C. And if they find out that you have it, they can start giving you treatment to prevent it from growing wild and getting, offhand and causing cancer. So the advice is for you to get the screening test when you're supposed to, so that they can catch these cancers early. And at this time, they are easy to treat when they are still small, when they just start. The prevention continues. So safe sex practices. So like I said, they said they should give this HPV vaccine to young ones that are not sexually active, because when you already have the virus in you, unfortunately, viruses, they really don't have good treatment for viruses. So, but it's good to prevent it from happening at all, from having it. So safe sex practices will prevent you from having the HPV, from having HIV, from having the HTLV1 virus, which I did say the T cell lymphoma, which we'll call the T cell lymphoma in you, or hepatitis B and hepatitis C. People use needles, they exchange needles. They do have unprotected sex, and they can have the hepatitis B or hepatitis C. So all these sexually transmissible viruses, you can prevent from having them by having safe sex practices. And then don't share syringes. So believe it or not, when I was in college, we did a program in Baltimore where we actually did needle exchange. We'll actually go out for those that were on the streets or that do IV drugs, and we will give them clean needles to exchange them for used needles. So we'll go out, if you bring 10 needles, 10 dirty needles, 10 used needles, we'll give you 10 clean ones that have not been used. And we will advise them not to exchange their needles, so don't use it to inject yourself and share it with a friend, because that's how you can spread HIV or hepatitis or any of those viruses that you can get them through the blood. So this really reduces your risk of blood-borne viruses. Like I said, hepatitis B and C and HIV. We really encourage people that are doing drugs. If you can stop doing it, fine. But if you really must do it, do not share needles. Okay. All right. Now I'm doing something. So what are the signs and symptoms of this viral associated cancers? The signs and symptoms will all depend on where the type of cancer and the location. So, and usually you really don't have any signs and symptoms until this cancer gets to where it starts causing problems in your body. So like for cervical cancer, you might not know until you start having bleeding. Some people have bleeding after sexual intercourse, or they'll just bleed, at odd times. It's not time for your period, and then you realize that you're bleeding, or you will have pain somewhere because this tumor is now growing and pressing on surrounding tissues, or you will have lesions on your body, like with Kaposi sarcoma, or sometimes with liver cancer, you probably will be jaundice, or maybe anemic, you get tired, you lost appetite, you might not be able to sleep well, you're having pain. I mean, whatever sign would depend on what type of cancer it is and where it is located. I think what we'll do maybe in the next couple of weeks is to probably deal with each of these cancers separately, so we can understand what the signs and symptoms are and the treatment. So generally, treatment also depends on the type of cancer and the virus, whether it's EBV or it's HPV or it's KSHV, whichever virus it is. Treatment will all depend on the type of cancer and the causative virus. So diagnosis of these cancers is from the signs and symptoms, like I said. So if you start seeing somebody that is complaining of pain in their right upper abdomen, they are jaundice, you'll be thinking that, oh, maybe they have liver cancer, or if they are having vaginal bleeding, I mean, depending on whatever type and location, you can do the diagnosis from the signs and symptoms. You can do it from radiology tests. So you do a CT scan and PET scan, and it will show you where these things lead up, where the tumor is, and that's how you can be diagnosed. But most often the definitive diagnosis is by pathology. So they'll do a biopsy and they'll take it to the pathology department and look at the biopsy to see if these cells are cancerous cells and what virus it is associated with. So they usually will do special stains that will tell you if this cancer is EBV positive, or if it's from the liver, if it's hepatitis C or hepatitis B, or is HPV positive, if it's from the vaginal area or the anal cancers, wherever the location is. The definitive diagnosis is usually from doing a biopsy and doing a pathology. And I think that's it that I have today. Generally, even though we know now that this cancer are caused by virus, it still does not make it easy to treat. Believe it or not, some of the most difficult types of cancers that we have that are not treatable are caused by viruses. As we all know, a lot of people have had colorectal cancers or anal cancers, or like I said, the nasopharyngeal cancers. We know that they are caused by EBV or HPV. We know that. We do the diagnosis, we see it, but there's really not much of any treatment for these cancers, unfortunately. So the best bet is for us to prevent it from happening. All right. So that's what I have today. So I don't know, we lost Sister.
Thank you, sis. Yeah, we lost Sister Kanla. Thank you so much, sis, for this information. It's really good. Thank you.
All righty. So if anybody has any questions for me, like I said, those cancers, I just gave, that was just like maybe a broad summary of what viruses will do in our body. Maybe we will have to probably do each one of them or a group of them at a time, so that we can be more definitive on how you can prevent them and how you can tell if you have it, and the screenings that you need to do to get either early detection and treatment or to just prevent from having them. Maybe we'll just have to do those singly so that we can talk more detailedly about them. All right, I see a couple of hands up. I see Dr. P is in the house. Dr. Patience, you can unmute yourself. I don't know if we need to unmute you guys.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sister Irene. I see Sister Kanla has just come back in anyway.
Okay.
But wow. This is kind of scary but good topic. Okay, because you said it all. And I want to say yes, we will love to, if you want to grace us, to just talk of one at a time. I know sometimes they will interrelate through metastasis, but if you can just go through one of them at a time, as you said, the signs and symptoms, some of them might not, some of them might. Because I don't know whether you remember the very time of the series when you started. And I started paying attention on my poop, things that I did not pay attention to. I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, is it not forming today because I ate something that will make it loose? So I'm asking myself that question, but not to panic, because God said we shouldn't panic, but to be aware. So if I need to just say, hey, can you check this out? It should be early enough. Thank you, great presenter, great ladies to again today. The duo people came strong. I see Sister Carla in the house. I want to just say thank you. Sorry, I'm on the road, so I'm on the background. That's why my video is not on. There's a lot of things going on, but we thank God that we are here today. Thank you, Sister Irene, for this wonderful series. It's a tough series, but it's something we should face hand on. The Bible says my people die because of lack of knowledge. There are some cancer that are very presentable and are very curable if caught early. There are some rare ones we know, but if you are aware, you will. There's a lot of other things out there too, between the holistic and the pharmaceutical. I think we can get ourselves better, and so that cancer should not be a scare anymore. And this knowledge is power. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. P. Yeah, like you said it, yes. If you don't know it, you will get it. But if you know it, you will prevent, or you protect yourself and avoid getting it. So don't be a victim and said, oh, I did not know. There are a lot of things that you can do to keep yourself away from this horrible disease. As we can know, the rate of cervical cancer has reduced so much. And that's one of those cancers that should really not be there anymore, but it's still there because people still do not do the little things that they're supposed to do to prevent from getting cervical cancer. Just do your yearly pap smears, safe sex activities, and you will be safe. But people still don't do those things, and we still see patients coming to the hospital with advanced stages of cervical cancers. So yeah, it's good to know. All right, Brother Joseph, I see your hand is up. You can unmute yourself. Let me see if I can unmute. Okay. Can you unmute yourself?
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
I come in again to thank you so much for this presentation. It's awesome. This is, as I said last time, this is what we need. As Dr. Patience has said, it is a wonderful presentation that you are giving us. As I said last time, it is good for us to know that viruses cause cancer. It is good for us to know that parasites bacteria, and fungi can also cause cancer. So what you are teaching us is knowledge, which is power. Knowledge is power. A lot of people are those who die because they just hear the name cancer, are having cancer. And from your presentation, you came up with telling us that when our immune system is weakened, then the virus will take upper hand. We should learn from what you are teaching us to maintain our fighter army, which is our immune system, which is composed of the white blood corpuscles. This, we have to maintain them. If we don't, are surrounded by viruses, and we can get it at any time. It is true, we have to actually do everything to prevent it, but until we have this knowledge that you are giving us, not everybody knew about it. When you tell somebody don't do this, that person will not understand why you are asking the person not to do it. So what you are telling us, what you are teaching us, I'm surprised that we are only 29 here, but this 29, I still thank everybody coming to be here. There are a lot of things that we have to start taking care of ourselves. You, if somebody came and sat in front of you and he said, I have cancer, you will be able to know, okay, from diagnosis, from what you see in front of you, you might know that this is the virus that is causing it. The person sitting in front of you doesn't know that that is the virus causing it. That person may be ingesting something that is actually increasing that virus in himself or herself, and will not know. You will maybe there trying to do everything to cure or to heal that cancer, but that person is still ingesting those things. And some of them are still going through the same thing, jumping left and right, doing this or that, taking this or that. But when we know this story, when we know this information that you are giving us, it is power. It is very, very important. We should take care of our immune system, no matter what type of cancer it is. When your immune system is strong, that is your army, the fighter army that God gave all of us. When that immune system is strong, all those things will be held under captive. Thank you very much. And as Dr. Patience said, please, we will we will follow you until you give us a lot and a lot of information. Thank you so much for the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Joseph. You have said a lot of things that I'm sure that people heard. Keep your immunity strong. That is your military, that is your gun, that is your bullets, whatever it is, that will protect you from having these horrible illnesses. It is not only cancer, even other diseases. If your immunity is strong, you will stand strong against these other diseases, because once any foreign thing is getting into you, your immunity is the soldier that is in your body, will attack these things and remove them from your body. But if your immunity is weak, so if you drink excessively, that you don't eat, that you don't look healthy, your body is struggling to revive, you weaken your immunity, you can pick up anything, anytime. So you have to keep up your immunity, eat your balanced diet, like we say all the time. Prevent yourself from stress. But sometimes when you're stressed, even your body is not awake and strong enough to fight anything. Enjoy life, but be careful. Don't just go out and just enjoy life blindly, because there is a lot out there that you can pick up, and it will cause you more harm than good. I used to tell my kids when they're going out, I'd be like, be careful, don't do anything that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Until they know, every time before I say it, they finish the phrase for me. We have to be careful when we are going out there and not to do anything that will haunt us for the rest of our lives. So be careful. Please learn of all the different screens that you're supposed to do, do your screenings so that, well, if something happened and you picked up any of these viruses, you will catch these cancers when they are still starting, catch them early, that they can just go in and remove it. They can just do cyber knife. We can talk about those later, and just kill that little spot, or do surgery and just take it out and without it going anywhere. But once that cancer gets to a point where it's big and some of the cells are breaking off and they are carried in your blood system to other parts of your body, at that time they said, oh, you have metastatic disease. They are very, very difficult to treat. And like I said, there are these viruses that we will know that, oh, okay, you have a cancer that is caused by HPV, but that does not mean that we can easily treat that HPV cancer. We've seen people that have died from colorectal cancers. We know it is HPV, but they found it at the time that it was so advanced that it did not respond to treatment. And they died from something that they probably would have caught it early, just cut that part of the rectum or wherever that the cancer is, because it is not like it's gonna occupy the whole rectum. It will be on the spot, and then that spot grows. And as the cells, because I said they grow and multiply fast, sometimes these cells, they are loose and they will be carried in your blood circulation to another part of your body and settles there and starts growing. If you catch these things early before they start breaking off and going to other areas, they will treat them easily. But once they are so advanced, it is difficult. And people will die from something that they've diagnosed, but they couldn't treat it because it's gone too far. So do your yearly pap smears, do your breast exams. I'm just adding that to it. Do your colonoscopies when you're supposed to do them. Do your vaccinations, vaccinate the kids so that their body is armed against these things. All right. I see our sister is back, so I'll hand over back to Queen Candla. Queen Candla, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, all right. I have to find for some reason. Okay, I don't know why it's.
Somebody else make Queen Canla a
Sister
co-host.
Irene, I have a question. Why we're getting Sister Canla on?
Sister Canla, did I unmute you? Okay, go ahead. Sister
Yes.
Canla. Okay.
All right, I'll wait.
Go ahead.
Yes. I wanted to ask a question. Today, are there cancer screening program? You know, I know you can do pap smear, you can do colonoscopy, you can do hysterectomy and the rest of them just to check. But are there specific cancer screening program that people can go for, not because they found something or they feel a pain or they are bleeding? Is there any today? I asked that question knowing and believing that should really be the path of research and development instead of taking money from cancer research. Do we have any cancer screening program that a regular person just going for a screening? Do we have any right now?
So there are not really any specific tests that are out there that are routinely used for screening cancers. So you just have the like you said, the pap smears, the PSAs for prostate, the BRCA tests. They only do them if you have a family member that has had breast cancer, and then they can screen the rest of the family, but they don't just routinely do them. I think the only yeah, I can't think of any tests that they will do to screen for cancers, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe that's something that they should do, but
I know that's the area they should focus on research. So even if you don't feel anything, you can just do an annual,
Yeah,
search. That, yes.
Sister Irene is being modest. We know, especially in the US, our insurance companies can't tie in the doctors.
Correct.
So you have to have a reason to even have this pap smear, mammogram. You have to be a certain age or have family history to see it early. You have to have a reason, or you pay out of pocket. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Because you've seen, as Sister Irene said, they've diagnosed young people with stage 4 colorectal cancer, but they had not reached the age for annual screening. So they did not do the screening because they did not qualify. The outliers, or the out of normal within our range of doing all these annual tests, if you're unfortunate to be out of that window and you have these symptoms, they will not even do those tests for you. Yeah, so that's the sad part of it. And I think that's the advocacy that maybe can start, because more and more young people have been diagnosed and they were not screened, and they're diagnosing them now, getting them at stage 4, because now the symptom is worsened, right? But because they were not 40, is it 40 years or 50 years they do for mammogram, forgotten the age cut?
It's
Because they have
40.
not made that cut.
It changed. Yeah,
For
it
women,
moved from 45 to 40. Now 40, they
And
begin.
for men, you have to be 50 and above for them to be in PSA and maybe do a digital rectal examination, all those things. I hear you, Bras Shaggy. They will not just go and do a PEP scan for anybody. Those things are expensive. Insurance company doesn't want to pay.
Correct.
So it's more of insurance not accepting, not that the diagnostics are available, but insurance obviously,
Yeah,
will always,
lots of the diagnostics are available, but there's a restriction. It's not like available for annual. We have them, but they're not just done like that. There must be a reason. There must be signs and symptoms, because it costs a lot of money.
Unless you're a certain age.
Order them.
Yeah, you have to be at a certain age.
Yes, I remember.
To be able to just order them for you routinely. But if you're not at that age, because these things are expensive, insurances will not want to cover, even when you are having the signs and symptoms. So it's a patient.
I mean, that's why they keep on using the word medically necessary and needing your doctor's approval.
If you have the signs and symptoms that you're younger, they don't, because the signs and symptoms can overlap, right? The first line for the doctors will not be that. They'll do anything first before they said, okay. And now they want to say, okay, it's too late. Yes, I'm agreeing with you that these are there. They're diagnosing young people at stage 4 because they will not look at that as a first line of test for them.
There are even tests that they can do, like this test is called CA-125. There's the CE8 test, and they will not under this test until they already found out you have cancer, and then they'll be doing them to check if the cancer is progressing or is improving. They do use these markers to see how the treatment is working, but these markers they can equally use to realize that something is wrong.
Identify.
They don't do, unfortunately.
So again, I ask that question because I'm thinking as you do this presentation and people become aware of what Brad Joseph called knowledge. And Sister Pat said, "My people die for lack of knowledge." Now that we have the knowledge, what steps can people take? That's what I'm asking. You know, for instance,
advocate.
Just for you to.
For example, now I know there are companies that will ship a box to your house for you to send the stool, and you don't have to go through your insurance, and the prices are not so expensive. So people can be aware of these things that we can do, even if you're young and the insurance won't pick it up. If you ask the doctor, they say, "Oh, don't worry about that." You can. These things are not being available now. You know, as the technology is getting more advanced, the process it would take to do those diagnoses in the lab are getting reduced because of you know, advanced research in, you know, labs that are automated and do things cheaper than having to put a scientist there. And so we can be aware that you can call up this company, send your stool, they can give you a result. And then on, I hope there will be other areas that they can at least dictate certain types, even when you are not ill. Because this information is so good, but what do we do?
Yeah, Brother Shaggy, you're right there. I have a sister right now. Thank God for her advocacy for herself. She had to push. And after all, they pushed. They caught the ovarian cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
He insisted. She told the daughter that no, this pain is unusual. She did not relent. She's continued.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't the diagnosis she was wishing for, but at least it was caught early. So this knowledge is for us to be empowered. And if you feel that your body doesn't feel the way your body should feel, don't let the doctor tell you otherwise. Insist for this to be done, for tests to be done. Just push, push, and push. So that's why you have a knowledge, because you have to be your own advocate. I'm telling you, not that the doctors don't know what they're doing. Their hands are tied. So you have to. I remember I had to, insurance company, they were telling me, oh, this can cost you 25,000. I said, that's my son's life we're talking about. Oh, we have not got clearance yet. I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So we just have this knowledge is to empower us to be able to advocate for ourselves. I'm just saying it. Thank you, Sister Irene, and we'll keep learning and keep saying that, okay, have you done this? And you can go and say, okay, no, my stomach is hurting me so much. I don't want you to use a dye on me. Can you do a PET scan? Can you do an ultra scan? You can push and ask for that if you think things are not feeling the way it's supposed to have been feeling.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So the thing is that when you get to a doctor's office and you talk with confidence, and the doctor, and they know that you know what you're saying, they will know what to, they will know how to also, put in the request, hoping that your insurance company will listen, because they can put the request and actually document what you're saying. But if you go there and you're quiet, things that have to struggle to get these things, they probably just stay quiet too. But if you talk with your head up, prove that you know what you're talking about. Sometimes you even threaten, because they too don't want to get any lawsuits. They will put it to the next set of people. So they can request that test, and then now will all depend on your insurance if they will, approve it or not. Sometimes the insurance too will be worried, because if the doctor said, do this test, and you're declining, and something happens, and this person sues the insurance company, it will also, you really have to advocate. Unfortunately, as a patient, you have to advocate, you have to push, you have to tell them that something is not right here. I know my body so well. This pain that I'm telling you is there, is real, and need for us to find out where it's coming from. You have to say it. Probably if you know those, like I said, know your body, you can tell them what exactly you're feeling, and that will help.
All right.
Can I just have a quick addendum? Sorry about it, because this is really serious stuff. First of all, thank you for this series, and please, in the next time that you mention, give us like the kind of test needed, so we all have a list to talk to our doctors about, so that we can say, hey, how about this? Some of us don't even know what to talk about.
That's true.
And so giving us that information will help us to document, put it on YouTube. Anybody who's not here can go look at it and know what to ask. Most of us, when we come to the West, we want to have a doctor or medical practitioner who is from our place, who is from Cameroon, from Nigeria, or African. Let me tell you one thing. It might not be the best. So please be your own advocate. I had a doctor, I want to say who is from West Africa, not Nigeria. Every time I go there, you're looking good. You're looking good, brother. You're looking good, brother. And my wife keeps saying, you're always looking good. When you have cold, you're looking good. You have this allergy, you're looking good. He never told you any. So she said, forget it. So she got me to an Indian female doctor. Oh my goodness. First time she saw me, she gave me a list of what to do. Like, what's going on? She said, no, nothing's going on. I just wanted to do it. The test to find out my sugar level, the test for so you mentioned some of them, And by the time I went through, she said I was maybe 6 months to 9 months ago that I was borderline diabetic. And she told me, no, the only sugar you can eat is from fruits. And you know what? It worked. So sometimes these doctors, they just look at us physically, they're not thorough. I'm sorry to say. And so be aware that even though you have a private doctor right now or you have insurance, don't let anybody kid you. Once we have this list, talk to your doctor. What Sister Irene I'm talking about, talk to the doctor about it. Don't let them say, oh, you're looking good. Because you're looking good doesn't mean they do all what they're supposed to do. They need to do it. This Indian doctor went me asked to go and see a urologist, go and see this expert, go and see that expert. One did the gastrointestinal stuff, another one did colonoscopy, another one did that. And he said, now you're looking, a little bit okay. I don't want to get carried away. You can't have sugar. You can't have honey. This drink that is energy. She said, anytime you say 0 sugar, that means they use another thing for the sugar, which confuse your immune system. It's even more dangerous than sugar. So I stop all these drinks. So we have to have a real talk with our physicians so they can say, listen, especially in this environment, there are so many things that they will say it doesn't have this, but it has a different chemical. So you pass through FDA and it confuses the body. So it's so good. You're telling us now to take it and use it by going to a doctor's if you have one, if you have insurance, to just discuss it in my physical. Can you look at this? Look at this. Look at this. That's the least we can do. Advocate for ourselves. Again, thank you so much. Continue to bring it on. God is your strength with what just happened, and in spite of it, you're still here educating us. Thank you so much, Sister Irene.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, thank you, Brother Shaggy. I think you just summed up what I was about to say. Sister Irene, you wanted to say something or add something?
I just wanted to see if Dr. Patient's hand was still up. I don't know if that was.
All right, I'm going to call her back, but just to add to what Brother Shaggy is saying, and with what Dr. Patience has already said. I mean, it's true, you may look healthy outwardly, but inside, you don't want to assume that it is also okay, because we know how many times that has resulted to so many situations where people are shocked and we are like, okay, but he was or she was looking healthy, right, Brother Shaggy? That is what they normally say. Oh,
yep.
He or she was. I mean, I was with them 2 or 3 days ago, and I did not see anything because your eyes were only observing and looking at what you wanted to see from the outside.
Yes.
So, I mean, I just wanted to give an example of how our behaviors, our attitudes, and our assumptions in our daily interactions and in our daily relationships. And this whole thing of when you see someone that you are with on a daily basis, and when they don't look well as you know them and you keep quiet, You don't say something because you are afraid you are going to hurt their feelings. But guess what? When they get sick, it gets worse than you saying something that, oh, you really don't look good. Whatever it is, let's go to the doctor. Encourage them to go do the checkup. Don't sit quiet, because we get comfortable around our loved ones and we do not be that ally, or we are not we do not advocate for them sometimes when they themselves fail to see that they need to do these preventive checkups. Whether it's the vaccines, whether you are going to do the testing, at what level or stage that you are already. So please, I mean, that is why this information is so valuable. It is so timely, and it will never get old, because it serves as a reminder that, yes, if the person next to you, your brother, your sister, loved one, doesn't see themselves in the mirror as they need to go, you who is there, remind them. If it has been 2 years or 3 years, they haven't gone to the doctor, what do? Remind them, you need to go to the doctor. That's why we have things like annual checkups. And don't get caught up with the shock when a medical situations happen, and then you are like, oh Lord, I was with them 2 or 3 days ago, I didn't see anything. So yes, that is what I wanted to add. Sister P, I see your hand is still raised.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Carla. I think you guys have said a lot, but I was going to share 2 stories. One that is mine and one that's somebody else. So this guy kept going to the doctor and said, doctor, this body is not my body. And at one point, they took him to a psychiatric home because he kept insisting that this body is not my body. And one day, he was lucky, one of the doctors decided to look at it and said, look, this is my, at one point, all the frustration, because something was just wrong. You know, sometimes you just not feel unwell, but you don't really know how to describe it. So one day he went to the emergency room and was still complaining that this body is not my body. And they wanted to take again, this is a psychiatrist. He said, look, please wait, look, this is my driver license. And that's when the doctors look at the driver license, look at him and say, oh my God. But now it was kind of too late.
Oh my God.
What cancer? I've forgotten the cancer they diagnosed him with. Okay, for Brother Shaggy, knowing what to ask for your doctors. I can call myself a Google doctor, very stubborn. But when it comes to time, I go and tell my doctor what tests to do. I'm like, I've gone and I said, annual test. No, remember the annual ones is more chemistry, maybe the lipid panels, and that's a lot of things. I started going, I said, okay, I'm getting to age. I said, I want you to add thyroid. I want to see my TH level. I want you to add A1C. I started asking for tests. And I remember I was suffering a lot of gastric pains. And because of the knowledge that I got, I was the one that asked my doctor to do an H. pylori test. And behold, it was positive. I'm taking all this, the antacid, and none of those things was working. And all I needed was a 2-week treatment. And that H. pylori is not good for you because it can cause problems. Irene will tell you if you don't get sorted.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
so
it does.
You have to know. So, Sister, all this making noise, and sorry everybody that's on the meeting, is to agree with Brother Shaggy that when we start doing this individual series, that's a typical test that I will do. So people that want to go and advocate for themselves, they have that knowledge to do that. Thanks again. I know
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I know Papa you have Papa handful there, and you are here today to empower us with knowledge. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister P. All right. I think at this time we are wearing multiple hats and following the chat at the same time. Let's see if there is any comment. All right. No question yet to Queen Sister Irene. I mean, this is a very interesting topic, and we look forward to talking. If there are no more questions or no hands raised, then at this time, Sister Irene, I will ask that you give us your closing remarks, please.
Okay, so yes, we have talked so much about what we discussed today. Just like the topic says, know your body. I will start with that every time. Just know your body. Cancer or any other illness that will attack your body usually doesn't really come overnight. Generally, it will be a couple of weeks, months, or even years before these diseases actually show up or become a problem in your body. But if you know your body very well, you know that when I eat food, this is how I feel. And when you eat food and you feel differently, you know something is not right. Or if you get up in the morning and you feel different from your routine, just because you know your body, you know that something is not right. When you go into the bathroom, you know, whatever that you're doing, know what is your regular and what is abnormal. Don't just get up one morning and feel like, oh, well, I don't know, I think I'm just tired or I'm getting old. Well, the fact that you're getting old doesn't mean that you will get constipated or you will go to the bathroom and have your stool and it's string-like, or you go to go pee and your urine stream is not strong. That does not just come with old age. Something might be causing that. So if you know these normal and regular things in your body, it will be easy for you to catch something abnormal that is coming. Also, just do your regular checkups. If you have insurance, use the insurance. I'm saying it, I'm saying it like this. I do talk to people, but then I don't keep on top of it, and it's not right. Every year I will delay my going for physical for maybe another month or so. And at one point I realized that the insurance had actually gained a year from me not getting a, paying out any money out to a doctor because I didn't go for physical. Because every time I will increase, I'm supposed to go in February, then I don't go till March. And then the next year, I don't go that March, don't go until May. And then the next time, I don't go until September. And, delaying it, even though I finally go. But trust me, if you keep to the routine, and now we have all these electronic devices and everything, put your yearly physical on there to occur every May, whatever date. So when that time is coming, it will pop up on your phone and it will remind you. Put it on your calendar and make sure that you know your body. All those yearly checkups or age-defined checkups that you need to do, please, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do these series and do one at a time. Learn when you're supposed to go for your colonoscopy, when you're supposed to do your pap smears, when you're supposed to do your mammograms and all those things. Know those timelines and please follow them. You don't want to say, had I known. We do have jobs that we have insurances with. Most of us Africans, we do, or Africans, those of us foreigners that are in the West, we do have good jobs that have insurance. We need to use them because we come from a background where we really don't have these insurances and we don't do this mandatory or not mandatory, we don't follow this yearly or age-defined checkups. We just ignore them here, but they are for real. These things are for real and people are dying. I have realized that we have an increased number of prostate cancers in our communities. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. So I'm seeing all these people my age and older having this, but I have seen an increased number of prostate cancers occurring in our communities. But if they could just go to the hospital yearly or even every 6 months, that PSA test is not expensive. I think that's one of the tests that you can ask and they'll do it for you. Yearly, 6 monthly, quarterly, I think the doctors will do that one. It is not expensive and it's easy. It's not what they used to do, the rectal exam, and men don't like it. This is an easy one now. Please do ask. There are a lot of treatments too for these cancers if they are diagnosed early. It just gets more difficult when they are now advanced and now called metastatic. So they've gone to other organs of the body. It's difficult at that time to treat. So I promise I'm gonna try to do each disease or a group of diseases that need the same test and treatment every time, so that we can all know them and you can know the kinds of questions to ask your doctors when you go to the hospital. So thank you all very much for listening. If you were here and you look around and see that someone you know is not here, please share this with them. This is the only way that we can keep these things out of our bodies and enjoy life and live longer. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sister. You said something about pain. I went for a cardiac workup, and one of the tests, the doctor said, I would like you to do the calcium test, but the insurance company doesn't cover it. And I'm like, how much is it? I think it was $100. I'm like, what is $100 for my life? Because I'm waiting for insurance. So please, you have to be alive to make money. So sometimes, and most of these people will give you payment plans, okay? Sometimes if let me say the doctor finally agreed, the insurance company refuses, please pay out of pocket. Do a payment plan. A lot of them will take payment plan. Your health is important. Thank you all. Sorry I'm not on my video today. As Sister Lerato said, if anybody not said it today, I love you all. Over to you, Queen Kanda.
All right. Thank you, Queen Dr. Patience. We appreciate the fact that you are really participating while in the background. We want to thank you, and also Dr. John. We know he is in the background, and all other leaders as well who are in the background. And I know they will listen to this sometime later on or be able to join us in the next series. So thank you. Thank you. All right. I mean, can we all show some gratitude to our sister, maybe by, this is where we miss O Connect, right? We would have used our O Connect and say, hey, applause. So, but you can see from the questions, the discussion, it means this is truly, truly something that is close to everyone's heart, and we use it, we need it, and we will share with everybody. Thank you, Queen Irene, and we look forward to your next series. At this time, we will move on to, I think, Q&D. If there are any other questions outside of the topic for today, know yourself and your body. If you have a comment or you have some questions for Sister Lerato on our mindset earlier on, this is the time where you can also say a word or two. But if nothing, then we can proceed to close our YouTube and say goodbye to all our family watching us on YouTube. But I will give a few seconds to see if any other question from the chat or anyone has anything to say at this time. Okay, while watching or while looking, I don't see anything at this point. All right, Queen Lerato, everyone, they are saying thank you for the beautiful mindset. You know, one thing I can say about Queen Lerato, the mindset of be still and the benefits that comes with it, or what you gain when you are still. So many things happen. And also it's a continuation. You know, we've been having this topic now continuously for the past, I think, 2 weeks. And she talked about timeliness. When you're still and you do things with clarity, focus, you become more productive. When you're not in a state of chaos. And she made mention about time. When you're running late, that means you find yourself in that state where you are not still, and for whatever reason, what led you to being in that state of chaos. And now you start finding reason and complaining about everything. And I just remembered an example of time where you're running late for work, or you're running late to your doctor's appointment, or maybe children's appointment, you're taking the children to the appointment. But work will be a more, example that I want to use, because this one I can relate to it myself. When you get up and you realize that you're running late, guess what? You lose that control. You lose that stillness in you. And then it sets up series of things, activities in motion. Now you have to hurry. You have to be running late. Have you ever find yourself in a situation where, okay, now you're running late for your doctor's appointment, you get out to the car, only for you to open the car, you've totally forgotten that you did not have enough fuel in your car, and now you have to stop at the gas station. Meanwhile, you are already running late for doctor's appointment. That becomes one thing. And then by the time you go there and you fuel the car, and then you're leaving the gas station and you get out onto the road, and then you start realizing that most of the traffic lights now turn to hold you back, and they become, it seems like they take forever before they change to green, from amber to green. It's like everything just starts holding you back. If it's not amber, it's red. And if it's not going too fast, a traffic light that normally sometimes you will go through and it takes you about 1 minute, now at that moment, it seems like it's taking you 2 to 3 minutes for you to cross, or for you to get to the next traffic light and then get out to your route. And with that, it continues. Anxiety. You become less productive because you lose focus. She also made mention of how when you have clarity, then you can focus because you know where you're going. When you're still, you're calm, you get there in time, things work out well. You are not worried. You're careful when you're driving, but this time you become passive in your driving, or you become aggressive in your driving because you're looking, it's all about your watch and your time. You're trying to get there as fast as possible because, oh, you are afraid, you don't want to cancel the appointment. And sometimes the light and everything that holds you back ends up preventing you from getting there on time, and then you have to reschedule the appointment because sometimes the doctors will not take an appointment that is more than 15 minutes late. And so you see the ripple effect of what happens sometimes when you go. So, I just wanted to share that. That is what was going through my mind, and I'm like, oh my God, Queen Lerato, this is really relatable. Sis, I mean, I hope I got your point on what you were trying to say. Are you there? Yes. Queen Rosalind, I see your hand raised.
You know, what you're saying there is true, Queen Kamala, but later on in life, when you start to understand what's happening, they say hustling and bustling, everything is happening for a reason. So sometimes there's little mishap that you get up late, you forget this, you know, and then even if you're going by the doctor, when you read something, the doctor say, you coming late or you won't be coming in, you know? So I think in this position, sometimes you just have to say everything is happening for a reason. So you're being guided by the Almighty. That's my little thought.
And you're right. That is where the mindset Queen Lerato comes in, where if you realize that you are already at that level, then guess what? You accept that stillness, you accept that calmness. And instead of trying to continue in that state that you are not calm, you're not still, you calm yourself down now. And so you start trying to make sure that things start going right or things start happening based on what you want things to be or what you have control over for it to happen for you. So yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. You just took it to the next level. After doing that, after realizing that, what do you do next? You just answered the question. Take a step back, calm down. You did not have control, and then go through. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Queen Rosalie.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Well, I think at this time we may go ahead and close our YouTube for today and say goodbye to our family, and also round up here with our closing signature tune for today so we can get ready for our webinar for next week. So thank you everyone, to our Queen and King who usually help us with YouTube, Queen Rose and Brother Mumudu. We want to express gratitude for all you do with the YouTube, managing it. We may not see you on a daily basis, but we know you're doing the work there. Thank you so much. To our family, YouTube family, thank you again for your time for another Sunday. We appreciate you. We love you. It's always an honor to have you with us. And I hope everyone got something new from the presentation today by our sister, Irene. Something that is going to help you health-wise, mentally, and also share with the rest of the family. And we look forward to our next presentation. We look forward to seeing you. But meanwhile, between now and while waiting for Sunday, you know the rest of the other webinars that we have. On Mondays, we have Mindset Mondays with Queen Miriam. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have Deep Dive with Dr. Derek. And Wednesdays, for now, no webinars, but normally it's Queen Julie. And we continue to put her in prayers with her daughter, Chloe, and all other family members that we know that are sick. Please continue to pray for one another. And then we have our twin Queen sisters, Yvonne. They have a webinar, the recorded versions, Monday to Thursdays, and on Friday they have the live webinar. Again, I think it's 1 o'clock. If you are able to join them, please do join them. And then we also have a Thursdays morning webinar with Singapore, O Passion Malaya. please, if you're able to join them, you can join them as well. And then we are back on Sunday with the Dream Team webinar. And so we want to thank you and see you next week. We love you. Bye-bye. Okay, Dr. D, let me know when YouTube is done, stopped, and then. Okay, looks like YouTube is done. So all right, everyone, please. Dr. D, we are waiting to hear from you.